Hang on one second, a funny thing on my screen here. There we go. Okay, hey everybody, this is Sherry, of course, and welcome to our training today on Don't Let Your Income Suffer During the Slow Summer Months. This is one that I did for my organization, with the companies that I was with, whether corporately or independently like you guys. So I'm excited to do this with you. It's the time of year where we start to question, well, in fact, I can just tell you that my coaching clients right now, one of the things that I'm hearing every single week with every single client is it just me? Or is, our company in trouble? Or what's going on? And so let's just start right there. Maybe you're remembering last summer when business went crazy, and perhaps that was your first year as a leader in this industry. And we just had this really unusual time from really late March to August, where our businesses were having record-breaking months. I mean, our companies were having record-breaking months, month after month after month in that season. And it was 100% COVID related. I can tell you that in my 35 years in this industry, that's the only summer that I've ever seen anything like that. It's just a market trend that May is slower than April, and then June is slower than May, and July is slower than June, and August, it starts to pick up a little bit towards the end of August and kind of steadies through September. And then in October, we're moving into that fall and holiday season where things really begin to pick up. But don't worry, it's just the season that we are in right now. It's the normal market trend. And if we know that, then we can prepare for it. We can do as much as we can to minimize the fallout that we have in these slow summer months. But what I see leaders do so often, and certainly our consultants, is they say it's, nobody wants to have a party right now. It's just too hard. And they just decide to take the summer off and go back to work when the kids are back in school and business starts to pick up again. And that is the worst thing that you can do as a leader. And it's really a tough thing for our consultants to do as well. First of all, we have to remember, leaders, that we are the models for our organization, and the speed of the leader determines the pace of the pack. How many times have I said that in the last couple of months of training? The speed of the leader determines the pace of the pack. What you do, they will do. So we want to make sure that we continue to work through the summer. And I'll be honest, we work twice as hard in the summer months for half as much money. It's true. But if we take those summer months off, we're not going to be in front of people to get those new recruits who are our bread and butter in the summer. That's who keeps our business going. Those new recruits who are booking their first parties and just starting their business, so they're excited, and none of their friends or family have had those parties, so they've got no problem getting their parties booked. And that's the new people, and your future leaders and your leaders are the people that are going to keep you going through the summer months. So if we're not doing parties ourselves, we're not getting those new recruits, we're not developing those future leaders. And guess what? Because it is a tough season, consultants are going to give up and they're going to quit. And if we don't have those new people coming in, we're going to find ourselves in a little bit of trouble come the fall and holiday season. And for you as a leader and for our consultants, we want to make sure that they are going into that fall and holiday season with parties on the calendar. They've got momentum going rather than starting out cold in the best season of the year. So these are all things that you want to be sharing with your leaders, with your consultants, and I'm going to give you some ideas on how to do that. So the next slide is, a good leader can get people to do what they want them to do and think it was their idea. And I don't mean that in any sense in a manipulative way where we're, sort of we're just being manipulative and trying to get them to do what we want them to do for us. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if we want our team to book parties, if we want our team to recruit, if we want our team to move into leadership, then we have to sell that to them. We have to get them to want to do it first, and then we can teach them how to do it. So a good leader can get people to do what they want them to do by showing them why this would be a good idea for them, what this can do for them. That's what I mean by that. A good leader knows that the why comes first and the how comes second. But that's not the way most leaders train. They go right into the how to. I need them to book parties, so we just give them lots of ideas on how to book parties. I need them to recruit, so we just give them lots of ideas on how to recruit. But we haven't done the most important thing first, and that's to get them to want to do it. So if they're listening to how to do it, they're willing to incorporate and implement the things that we're teaching them to do. Why first, how second? That's what I mean by that. We as leaders need to ourselves prepare for those market trends and either maximize the good market trends or minimize the bad market trends. We have to prepare for those. And this is actually a little later in the season than I would like to see us doing that. April would have been a better time for me to do this training, but it just didn't occur to me until I was having all these conversations with my clients, asking about, what's going on and the panic I'm just hearing all over in our industry because last summer was so good and what's going on this summer. So normally we would start, for best results, we would start talking about this in April so that May isn't so much worse than April and June and so on. So we're a little late in the season, but let's not just give up right now and say, well, it's too late. It's not too late. We can still give them ideas of why they want to work in July and August and even September. And I'll tell you, if we're not doing this intentionally and in front of things, meaning before it's too late, then September is going to be bad too, because their kids are back in school. And so our consultants are also, like our customers, thinking, I'll just wait until after things settle down in September. We've got school clothes shopping, we've got first day of school, we've got new sports practices, we've got first PTA meeting, first parent teacher, first everything. And a lot of expenses go into getting our kids back in school. So they feel like nobody has any money right now. There's just all kinds of reasons that people will put it off, whether it's booking or going back to work in September. So we've still got time to minimize the fallout that we would see in July, August, and September. So let's do that. Let's prepare. So how do we do that? By talking about the 50 to 75% cancellation rate that we're going to see in July. July and January are the two worst months trend-wise in the industry. Now, some companies do really fabulous things like double hostess credit in January or July, or just really clever, unique things to help January be a better month or July to be a better month. Some companies do double trip points in July, which is brilliant, so that people are wanting to work and book parties in July. But regardless of what we're doing to minimize the fallout, we're going to have a 50 to 75% cancellation rate in July. So let's talk about it. Let's prepare for it. So they don't think if I book 4 parties, I'm going to hold 4 parties. If they book 2, they're going to hold 4. They're going to hold 1 or 2. So we just have to prepare them for that so they don't think that, again, something's wrong with me or something's wrong with the company. It's just the trend for January and July. So let's plan on that and teach them to overbook their calendars. I'm going to say that again and again as we go through this training. So we're coming back here, just focusing on the benefit to them. So let's get specific about the summer months. And I would do this in any season that I'm trying to get them to book. What's the benefit to them? What's the why they should do this? So in the summer months, their kids are out of school. So we've got summer camps, we've got water parks, we've got weddings, we've got graduation gifts that we're going to have to buy, we've got vacations we want to take, landscaping projects, and then right around the corner is all of those back to school costs, which, junior high and high school, when my kids were in junior high and high school, it was $1,000 to get those kids back in school between their clothes and school supplies and ASB cards, activity cards in the games and that kind of thing. It was just $1,000 per. That's a lot of money. So there's a lot of expenses coming up for you and your consultants this summer. That's a reason to not take the summer off. So let's bring that to the forefront. The benefit to them is that they can earn the money this summer to pay for all those extra expenses that are coming up that we don't have at any other time of year. That's the benefit to them. That's the why for them. So what we're doing there is we're making them feel the pain. You've got all of these expenses coming up. Where's that money going to come from if you're not working your business? That's extra expenses that we don't have the rest of the year, and the budget's already tight, isn't it? So I'm going to do a training that's titled How to Make $1,500 in the Next 60 Days. that's a catchy title that will get them to show up for me to talk about all these expenses that are coming up for them, why they want to make this $1,500 in the next 60 days. And it's different in different companies, but if they hold 2 parties a week and they make $100 a party, that's going to be 12 parties in 8 parties times $800. If it's $100, if it's $150, that's going to be $1,200. So figure out what they would earn holding 2 parties a week for the next 60 days. For some of you, that might be $2,000. But whatever that number is, how to earn X amount of dollars in the next 60 days. That's going to get them to show up for us to talk about all the expenses that they've got coming up and how they can pay for that by just holding 2 parties a week, which is X amount of dollars based on your company income. We're also going to talk about the delayed income, meaning that money's not going to come in until we go back to work in September if we take the summer off. It means no income in the summer. It also means that we're going to go into that best season of the year with no parties on our calendar if we take the summer off. But if we're working in June, July, and August, and September, then when October hits, and that's our best season, beginning of the best season of our year, we've got parties on our calendar to really get that momentum going into the best season of the year. All of these things are going to give your consultants a reason to work this summer. And that's really what this is all about. That's what this training is all about, is giving them a reason to work and then giving them ideas on how they can make that happen for them. Oops, I think I went back. Hang on. So when I said 2 parties a week, that's the beginning of a breakdown. When we break down things for our consultants, it's one of the ways that we get buy-in to them doing what we want them to do. If we just said, if you hold 16 parties in the next 60 days, you'll make X amount of money. That just sounds like such a giant number. But when we say, if you hold 2 parties a week, then you'll earn $2,000, again, depending on what your income per party is at your company. That's the beginning of the breakdown. But when we continue to break that down and say, that's really 5 hours a week of party time, 5 hours a week of party time to earn X amount of money over the next 60 days, just 5 hours a week. That sounds even easier, doesn't it? 16 sounds hard, 2 parties a week sounds easier. 5 hours a week sounds even easier than that. Or you might want to do 2 parties on Saturday. I'm going to take that back because I'm going to tell you not to party on the weekends. So I take that back. But we could show them how they could do 2 Facebook parties in one evening and be done in a couple of hours there. So we're just going to continue to break it down so we show them how easy it is to hold 2 parties a week, because everybody just thinks that number is so giant. And even when I break it down for them, they'll say, well, if I could get 2 parties a week, I would do that. So there's the next obstacle that we have to overcome. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to talk about that. The other way that we get them to want to work in the months that we want them to be working or want them to do what we want them to do is through testimonials. So we've got giving them a why to do it. We've got the breakdown that makes them feel like they can do it. And the testimonials help them to believe that they can do it. When we hear a testimonial for somebody that was struggling last summer and really went to work and just made 20 booking contacts and got 3 parties, and that was the beginning of her summer month, and she ended up holding X amount of parties, and I made this amount of money, and this is what I did with my money. Testimonials make it real. One of my clients in January began a struggling leader group. She didn't call it a struggling leader group. She just reached out to her leaders that were struggling and said, I can help you get your business back on track. Would you like some help? 11 of them said yes. And one of them, a few of them showed up for their calls to work with her. It's kind of like, I would love your help, but I really don't want to do anything to make that happen. So most of them didn't show up, but one did show up. And she had 0 parties on her calendar. She ended up sending out a message to 20 people. It went out at 1 a.m., so they woke up to it. It was a booking invitation, she booked 6 parties from that, which is a really good number from 20 reach outs, and then turned those 6 into 11. My client did a mega party, I'm going to talk about that, for her team, a team mega party, and that client invited lots of people to it, really did the work to get people to show up, booked another 11 parties from that, ended up with 22 parties in less than 2 weeks on our calendar. So that's a great story of somebody who was a struggling leader and just put a little time in to get some initial bookings, get some more bookings, and then invited people to this mega party, but just really got her business back on track is what I'm trying to say. Made something happen. So testimonials get people to believe that they can do that too. It gives them hope when they hear other stories like that. And so we want to give them a reason for contact also. In the summer months in Party Life, that's where I spent 11 years, every summer they would give us a reason to reach out to people to book parties, whether it was double hostess credit or a really incredible hostess special. Maybe one of our $150 items was on sale for $29 to our hostesses. So they gave us a reason for contact. When our company does something like that, we want to make it really obvious that the company just gave us a gift and we want to take advantage of that. This is a gift that we can use to put parties on our calendar. Some of my clients are doing these mega parties for their consultants. That gives them a reason for contact. And I'll talk a little bit more about what a mega party is a little bit later, but it gives their downline a reason to reach out to people. This is a really fun thing that we're going to do. It's going to be a mega party. You can just show up or you can have your party here. And she's going to be doing prizes and giveaways and extra incentives. And it just worked beautifully. And so that's where this one guy I was talking about got 11 bookings. But one of the things that we are discovering, or at least what I'm discovering as a professional coach, is that we got to make it so easy for people today to make things happen. We can't just give them a script anymore. I mean, we can, and that will help. And I'm going to give you a script in a minute. And some of those people will take that script and use it and get bookings. But you know what? Honestly, most people won't. But you make it so easy for them that all they have to do is invite people to this mega party. Okay, I'll do that. So the easier we make it for them to have the success we want, the more participants we will get. That's a reason for contact, to reach out to people for this mega party, to reach out for this customer special that the company's offering. But I kind of lost my track there. But when Beth Kairos did a mega party for her team, and when Shonda did a mega party for her team, these are just two of my clients that I know have done them, they gave an incentive for booking the party in the next month. With Beth, she had a little wheel app that she spun. So every person that booked a party, their name instantly went into the group that was going to get drawn for this prize. So it gave them a reason to book a party. So she just made it really easy for them to get bookings. And then of course, there's a training following up that would teach those girls that had the bookings how to get bookings from those bookings, so that we're getting that momentum going. But giving them a reason for contact, to reach out to people so that they feel like I'm not just reaching out again and saying, do you want to have a party? Do you want to have a party? There's something special going on. Even if it's just, it's COVID relief time. I mean, basically, at least in our state, we're open. I mean, restaurants are completely open. We're going to the stores without masks now. So the COVID relief is a reason to have a party. And I'm going to give you a script that's right around that. That's something different. I mean, we haven't had that for a year and a half, right? And I know some states are not quite as open as others, but if your state is open and people are getting together now, that's a reason for contact, something new. All right, so here is the script that I promised you just a second ago. This is the message that they can use. Sorry, this isn't the script for the booking. Sorry, this is for their Facebook event. So when they have a booking, this is their invitation for her to send out to her her guests. It's finally okay to hang out together. Oh, how we've missed our friends and family. You're invited to relax, have a glass of wine, do a little shopping, and have real life girlfriend conversations. It's time to party at Mary's house. So that would be her invitation to her guests. And then here is your post that you can be posting in that event to get people excited about attending right now, to help her get more attendance, which will help her to get more bookings. If they just get one party on the calendar, and we can help her turn that into 3 and that into, 2 or 3 more, we've got momentum going. So I got this idea from one of my clients years ago, and I love it. This is just a post in her party event. The first 15 people to RSVP to Carly will get 5 tickets for the drawing I'll be doing at Carly's party. Now, I'm not talking about giving away big prizes at Carly's party. My gal it was spring, so she just brought little potted plants and she gave those away. So it was like $1 a piece. It's always more fun to party with a girlfriend. You'll receive 5 extra tickets for the drawing for every friend you bring to the party. Another post. Teaser pictures of products and specials that they're going to see coming up at her party. The theme for that party. And I know a lot of you were doing Zoom parties with themes, which was really fun to see people showing up in full costume on Zoom parties and just really having silly fun, even though they couldn't be together. Themes will always get you higher attendance, always get you higher attendance. Just little fun GIFs in your event that reflect your party or the theme or this particular group of girls, just, keeping fun around it. Or this or that game. I mean, you guys I know have lots of ideas that you use in your events. Let's not get carried away though. I see when I'm invited to a party, they're asking, I feel like a lot of them are asking for too much involvement from me. We're talking about the busiest woman in the history of the world. I've been saying that for over a decade, but when COVID hit, it took on a whole new element with moms homeschooling and people working from home. And I mean, I know several women who actually had to quit their 6-figure jobs because they couldn't do both. They couldn't help their kids in school from home, and there was no daycare, so they had to, had to stay home to take care of their kids. There was just all kinds of reasons why people left their jobs. So it's certainly been a stressful, busy year for them. So there can be, some of these party formats have just too much engagement where you're supposed to come and watch this video and do this and vote on that. It's just too much for those busy people. Do a little bit to keep them involved, get them excited about your party that's coming up or your hostess's party that's coming up, but let's not overwhelm that busiest woman in the history of the world. It's a reason not to have a party because you just sort of annoyed my friends a little bit. Do a booking blitz. And then give extra entries for front loading July. So we're down to the last little bit of July and June. So now's the time to do a booking blitz for them to be booking into the front of July so that they can book from those into the rest of July, which is undoubtedly the slowest month of the year. So we got to give them ways to make this happen. So do a booking blitz now and give them extra entries if they book into the first 2 weeks of July. In January, I would say the first week of January, but we've got the 4th of July and so many people do go out of town for the weekend, and they will be this year. I'm telling you, planes are full. When we flew from Palm Springs to Washington in March, there was probably 20 people on the plane. We were still just, not vaccinated, just 20 people on the plane. But by the time we went back in April, the plane was not a seat empty on the way up, not a seat empty on the way back. And we live in Palm Springs. It's 115 here, and people are coming down here to vacation in droves just because they're wanting to get out of Dodge. So July it's going to be a travel weekend this year, so it's going to be a little harder for them to book. That's why I would say the first 15 days of July, give extra entries for that so that they're booking early. Okay, here is our script that we can give them for that booking blitz. Hi, Amy, can you believe it's finally okay to hang out together? Oh, how we've missed our family and friends. Let's give your friends a glass of wine, do a little shopping, and have real live girlfriend conversations. It's time to party. we're having a little booking contest at our meeting tonight. What do you think? Is it time for a Wednesday wind down party, weekends wine and women party, pajama party? But your girlfriends would love to see each other. And I'm telling you that I've predicted this, and I'm talking to my clients, and really that's my only venue for hearing what's going on out there. But my client said, yeah, the home party is back. People want to see each other. We're doing deck parties, we're doing park parties, we're doing wine bar parties, happy hours, just they want to see each other. So this is just a good excuse, and that's why the script is focused around that, is to get them together again. They're just sick to death of Facebook parties and even Zoom, because they've been working on Zoom and kids are going to school on Zoom. So they're with their kids on Zoom at their desk. They're just sick to death of Zoom also. So they just want to see each other. So take advantage of that, because everything's better there anyway. We have higher sales, we have more bookings and more recruits from actual in-home parties. All right, can see. All right, here we go. Every summer I did it's a consistency award or incentive. Of what we called it was the Passport program. So this was for meeting attendance. You can also do it for volume. So let's talk about both. Our Passport program is for meeting attendance, because if they're checking out of their business in the summer, they can check out of the meetings as well. So this gave me a way to get them to the meetings. And I knew if I could get them to the meetings, I could influence them to go work their business more. So the Passport program was just a little, it looked like a cardboard table tent almost, but it was just folded, and on the front it was your passport, and it was for June, July, and August. So you could do July, August, and September. And then you opened it up, and it was like, it had a little, like we would just stamp it, and every meeting had a different stamp. And so they had to bring their passport to the meeting, and we would stamp it. Now, if you're doing far away meetings, you could do this virtually. But the idea was that if they didn't show up to every single meeting, they didn't go into the drawing. If they missed one, they were out. So they had to come to every single one. And it really, really helped our meeting attendance. And every month, the pot grew bigger. So we had, at our company, we had this suitcase, that we carried our product into the meetings. It was a logo suitcase. So the first meeting, it was that logo suitcase opened on display, and we had just a few pieces of product in there. And then every meeting, and the leaders contributed to this. So every month, different leaders would have to contribute to this pot. So by the time we got to the third month, it was a mountain of products. Some people put champagne in there. Some people put like Starbucks cards. Other people did put our product in there, because they just never got tired of getting our product. So by the time it was the 3 months were over, we had this mountain of product that we were giving away to one person. And we drew a name at that last meeting, and they got that prize. So that's a fun thing to do, just to get them coming to your meetings and staying and showing up and staying engaged. That gives you an opportunity to influence them and keep them working. The other one could be an incentive for consistency. If they sell X amount of dollars each month, they're going to go into a drawing for X at the end of the season. So July, August, September, consistency incentive. I'm begging you not to do something minimum like $300 or one party, but consistency, 1,000 or more a month. That way they're holding 3 or 4 parties a month based on your party average, and that's consistent in the summer months when it is tougher to get those parties. But they're going to do what you recognize. So if we're incentivizing them to be doing $300 a month, that's what they'll do. But if they need to do 1,000 or 1,200, then that's what they'll do. So that's my recommendation there. We're talking about consistency. Recognition is the number 2 motivator. The money is number 1. So we talked about money early on, how to earn $1,500 or $1,200, whatever that number is. So we talked about money a minute, early on in this training. Recognition is the number 2 motivator. So let's recognize those consistent people in our newsletter. Let's shout them out on the team page, like it's the second week of July and we've got, 20 people that are on track for consistency. They're halfway to their number this month, and then every month we're shouting out those consistent people. You can recognize most parties up on a monthly basis, like give yourself a shout out with how many parties you've got on your calendar. We're going to you've got an incentive for the person with the most parties on their calendar for the next 30 days. And so we did that at every meeting all year, but that's a good thing to recognize in the summers. Just most parties up, of course, your top sellers, your consistency people, your new consultants working on their Jumpstart programs, recruiters, of course, just recognition is a driver. So make sure you're staying on top of that recognition this summer. I mentioned this before, but theme parties always get you higher attendance. This is where I have to go back to, it's not about what we would do, it's about what they would do. Play a booking game at a party that I'm at as a guest, I'm gonna pass. I'm just not a game person. I don't even play the games at bridal showers and baby showers. I know I just sound like the most boring person, aren't I? But it's not about what I would do, it's about what they would do. And they play booking games and it works and it gets me more parties at every party. So I'm gonna play a booking game at every single party, whether I would do it or not. It's not about me, it's about them. Theme parties. Invite me to a party where I have to dress up and I'm staying home, but they love dressing up. My oldest daughter is a prime example of this. They do girls get-togethers, whether it's just to watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette, or just girls' night to go out to happy hour together and spend the night at a nightclub, whatever. It's always a theme. It's one of them. It was the '80s theming. They all came in spandex and headbands and leggings and went out dancing like that. The other one was Golden Girls, and they went and got full-on makeup done, and they shopped online for clothes, and they went out dressed as Golden Girls. They love it. People love dressing up. My highest attended parties every year were my October Halloween costume parties. So people love it. They think it's super fun. And it doesn't have to be a dress-up party either, but just a theme to it. It can be something as simple as Mexican Fiesta, which is margaritas and nachos. But it just sounds fun, and you've got little Mexican hats or something. But theme parties just make it sound more fun. And we can come up with theme parties that are specific to your company and your product. Like jewelry companies tend to do things like sip and sparkle, something like that. So a fun thing to do with your team is to just brainstorm theme party ideas, and those creative people will just shock you with the really fun ideas that they come up with. It's where you take advantage of those people on your team that are better at things than you are in certain areas. So creativity was where I always counted on my team to come up with those kinds of things, or the fun stuff. This is the time of year where I'm going to tell you to book weeknights. In the rest of the year, except the summer, it's weekends. You get higher attendance on weekends. But in the summer months, it's weeknights, because weekends is when we're going camping, little weekend getaways, landscaping projects, river floating, just all the things that we can do when we're not working for the weekend. So attendance really drops in the summer on weekends. So focus on booking your weeknights. You'll have better luck getting the bookings, and you'll have better luck getting the attendance. These are just little tips that you can use to tell your team to help them. Overbook. We can't say that enough for the next 3 months because of the cancellation rate. So we just have to say it and say it and say it. Remember, we have to hear something 7 times before it really starts to sink in. Overbook, overbook, overbook. So book twice as many parties as you want to hold, because the cancellation rate in July is going to be 50 to 75%. If you do a good job of hostess coaching, 50%. If you do a bad job, it's going to be 75%. The last 5 years that I was in the field, my cancellation rate was 53 to 58%. Every year is over 50%. And I've been in the field 20 years by then, so I was good at hostess coaching. So overbook, twice as many as you want to hold. Some more fun ideas for your folks, to give them ideas on what they can do in the summer months to make things happen, is Battle of the Hostesses. I got this idea from my 12-year coaching client, Martine Williams, who still makes, well into the six figures. It was her idea and I loved it. She would take her most competitive hostesses a couple times a year, and she did it at her house, and it was just it was competition. So she gave away prizes for the highest attendance, the hostess with the highest attendance, the hostess with the most bookings, the most sales. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that's it. If I think of anything else, but I'll try and remember to tell you. But she just made it really fun. She had wine and really lovely appetizers, but she would do 5 hostesses at a time in her living room. Now, this is something that you could do online as well, but it's just a good way to get those competitive hostesses, in your program that are going to get you some really good parties there in a really fun way. Give an incentive to book July 1st through the 14th. So the person with the most bookings in July 1st through the 14th gets a prize, or you get a ticket for this drawing that I'm going to do for blah, blah, for every booking that you get July 1st through the 14th. And then remember to tell them to party on the weeknights, to book their parties on the weeknights. I'm trying to repeat those things that I think are super important. Okay, team bingo night. This is also something that I did for my personal team, not my organization, because it would have been too big, but we would it was a pizza place. I can't remember the name of it now. It's been so many years. But this particular pizza place had party rooms, like for birthday parties, and we could use that for free, and it held up to 50 people if we just ordered food and beverages. So we charged our customers that were coming, and they could have their party there, or they could just come alone, or they could bring friends. But it was super fun, and we had displays around the room. Cost them $5, and that $5 paid for their pizza and their beverage. So that was dinner. That's the only reason we charged for it. And so that covered the cost of our room that night. And we get them in there, we get them settled in. They got a ticket just for being there. I mean, a bingo card just for being there, and their little blotter thing. They get their food, they get settled in, they wander around, look at the displays that we had out, and then we had also one table that just had the prizes that we're going to be giving away, so they could see what they could win. And then we would play that first game of bingo, and we would give away the prize. And then after that, we would give them a chance to so then we would do our booking talk, and if they we gave them a chance to order. And I'm all backwards. Can you tell it's been a while since I did this? We played the game, gave away a prize, and then we had our best seller do a quick product demo. That's the way it worked. And we usually tried to plan this around a new launch. So we would have her just talk about our new products, or it could be products you have, doesn't matter, but it's just a way to get people there to do something fun. So our best seller would just talk a little bit, 5 minutes, because we want this to be just all fun, but 5 minutes about some of these new products, and then we gave them a chance to order. And if they spent $50, and we told them this, if you spend $50, then you get an extra bingo card. So we would do that. And then we would play another game of bingo after we gave them their second card if they spent $50. And then we would play another game of bingo. And if you're not familiar with bingo, you got to make sure that every bingo game is different, like the L or the H or the diagonal, but just make sure every game is different. And then we gave away the prize, and we had our best booker do a booking talk. And then we gave them a chance to book. We played another game of bingo, gave a chance to book a party. No, we didn't play another game of bingo. She gave her booking talk, and if they booked a party, so we're taking little breaks, then they got a third bingo card. So now they could be playing with 3 if they've spent $50 and booked a party. So then we got, with their third card, then we'd play another game of bingo, give away the prize, and then our best recruiter gave a good little 5-minute recruiting talk. We gave them a chance to book their launch party, take a little break, book your launch party, and if they did, they got a 4th bingo card. And Then we played another round of bingo, and that was blackout. And that was our biggest prize. So little prizes for the first 3 games. The 4th game was the blackout. And so it just was a really fun way to get sales, bookings, and recruits. They would have their party there. Some of them just came by themselves. Some people would bring 2 or 3 friends, but attendance just grew every time we did it because we made sure that it was really fun and fast. And it wasn't, it wasn't a 30-minute presentation. It was just 5 minutes product talk, 5-minute booking talk, 5-minute recruiting talk. So that was bingo night. These team mega parties that I'm talking about is, it's a mega party that you do for your team volume. There's mega parties that people are doing now for personal volume. Like, I'm just going to have 5 hostesses at once in one party. Or Erin Burge did the training on this for me, and she does 7 at a time. But the team mega party is for team volume. So this is where they can invite their customers, their hostesses, to participate in this big mega party. There's prizes given away. And the way that my clients have been doing it is they really just handle everything. This is one of those times where I'm going to make it really easy for my team so that they will participate, because I know if they participate, it's going to help our volume. It's going to get more team bookings and more team recruits and so on. So they really handled everything. They gave them scripts to invite people. They gave them graphics of the prizes that they were going to be giving away. They set up an event page that it was going to happen on, so that people that had RSVP'd were in there. So there was, just things going on leading up to that. Beth, as I said, she got the app that was a wheel. I can't remember what the app was, but it was just a spinning wheel. So all the prizes that she was giving away all night was just this wheel. She gave prizes away for sales. She gave prizes away for bookings, for joining. Just made it super fun. But she did the product presentation. She did the booking talk. She did the booking game. She did the recruiting talk. And I think she had a couple people share their why story. It was all there. But she did everything and her company sells nail strips. She sold 2,000 sets of nail strips that night. And I feel like, I want to say she booked 60 some parties. I don't remember the exact number. So, and she charged $10 for each consultant to participate. So she had 60 consultants participating. They each paid $10. So she had $600 for prizes. And that's how she bought really fabulous prizes, like a Kate Spade wallet. And I mean, she just had, I can't remember what the others were, but she had really nice giveaways, $50 Amazon card. My other client just did one recently, and she didn't charge her people to do that, but her prizes were a lot smaller too. But it was still fun, and they both got really similar results. So it just showed me that either way works, but they just made it really easy for their team to get sales, bookings, and recruits. And in the summertime, if we can help our team get bookings, sales, and recruits, that's a good way for you to keep your team, going. Sorry, I think I went too far. Another thing that we did in the summer months, because when you have your conference, you typically have a new launch. They introduce the new fall and holiday line, or your new product line. So that's what happened at the companies that I was at. We introduced our fall and holiday line. So we would do a hostess appreciation. And when I was with Party Light, that's really where they were the biggest, because my team was all local. We had 500 people at our meetings, for crying out loud. And that was just my region. We had people promote out to the top level. They did their own meetings, and they had a couple hundred at theirs. We had quite a few top leaders. So we had a big group of people in Washington, so we could pull this off. And every top leader in the area did their own hostess appreciation. So what we would do is our consultants would pay to participate in this. It was $25. And with that $25, they got to book a table. So they could fill that table with eight people. And it was 8 or 10, I can't remember. So they can invite 8 guests to this. But we just made this such a big deal. And it was like, think about who's your best prospects for recruiting and booking, not sales, because that's not who we want there. We want people who are going to book and join. So it was a really big deal. We had a no host bar. We had displays all over. We had our best seller do a quick product presentation. She got 15 minutes to do that. We took a break and they would place their orders. And then we did a quick hostess talk and we took a little break and they got a chance to book their party and had a whole table full of, it was all the same gift, but they were wrapped in cellophane, they were beautiful, and if they booked their party, they got to go get that gift. It was just a 3x9 calendar that cost candle that cost $4, and a table full of them. And then we had our best recruiter do a recruiting talk, and if they booked their launch party, they got to go get their gift at that joining table, and it was a 3-wick candle, which was an 8-pound candle wrapped in beautiful cellophane with ribbon, and it was $36 value. So it inspired people to do these things. And we just had lines of people at both of those tables that were booking and joining. So it really kicked off our fall and holiday season. And so it was something that we could do in the summer right after they introduced the new product line. So that's a good idea for new product line and fall and holiday season. But we can also encourage our consultants to do their own hostess appreciation for volume in the summer, where they're just inviting them over for apps and champagne and just making them feel special, give them little gifts, show them what's coming up new in the product line, or just do a quick presentation and give them a chance to book a party in the summer for the special gift. But use the appreciation as a way to recognize them and appreciate them, recognize your top selling hostess, your top booking hostess, the hostess with the most parties this year. Just recognizing your top hostesses while they're there in person with little gifts as well, but just appreciating all your hostesses. Because if they book before, they're likely to book again. So that's a good way to get them all together and inspire them to book. Mystery Hostess Party is another fun thing that we can encourage our consultants to do. I did this every summer. A lot of my leaders did the same thing. And so it inspired our consultants to do that. But a mystery hostess is just where we're hosting the party. And your consultants can do this. They're the hostess and they invite past customers, past hostesses, friends, family, neighbors, just like if they were having a party for another company, they're just going to invite lots of people into their living room. And we're going to give away the free stuff, meaning that the free product that you get as the hostess, you're going to give away to your guests, and the half price items and the hostess exclusives and everything that hostess would get, that you would get as the hostess, we're going to give away. How does this work? That they can get 5 tickets for bringing a friend with them. My friend Kathy gave away 10 tickets if they brought a bottle of wine, because that girl had 30 people in her living room, and that's a lot of wine to buy. So if they brought a bottle of wine, they got 10 tickets. If they spend $50, they get 5 tickets. If they book a party, they get 10 tickets. If they join, they get 10 tickets. So they have all of these tickets. And then after all of the orders come in and you know how much product you have coming free, half price, and so on, then we start drawing tickets. And I encourage you to do $25 increments in the free stuff. So if there's $200 in free stuff coming to you, you can do 8 drawings and give away 8 $25 credits. And then separate drawings for each half price item, a separate drawing for any hostess exclusive that you've got going on. And you just give it all away. But you get to keep all the commissions from that party. So you get the commissions, you get the bookings, you get the recruits, and they come and they show up because you're giving away the free stuff. So that's a fun thing to do, and for your people to do. A sale at their house. One of my leaders who lived right next door to me and myself would do a sale every August and every Thanksgiving weekend. And we had tables set up with gently used items that we sold at a huge discount, things that weren't in the line anymore, we just wanted to sell, or things that we were tired of carrying in our line and we just wanted to get rid of. So we had the gently used table that was deeply discounted. We had the inventory that we had collected between November, the Thanksgiving weekend, and August, or August and Thanksgiving, we had opportunities to earn free product all year round. We could host our own parties. There were sales contests. There were just lots of ways to get free product. And we would keep that and use it at our sale, and we'd sell it at 25% off. So, and still in our line, they could just get it at 25% off. We had opportunities to get product from the home office that was brand new but discontinued. And so we would just hoard up on that and sell that. And we got that at just dirt cheap, like, 75% off. So we would sell that at 50% off because they still loved it. But it was new, but they could get it 50% off. And then we had current new product that we knew everybody just loved because we had a consumable product. We sold candles. So we had a whole wall of candles. They would look forward to this twice a year, and they would just start arriving at 8 a.m. And we ran it Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We had sandwich boards on the street corners. We sent out emails. I mean, we just did everything to market this, but it was huge, and the volume grew every year. Our last one was $5,300 for the weekend. So that's another way to generate revenue in the summer and to get in front of people and get bookings from them. We also had at that sale every year, we always had a big display of what was coming or what was new, so they could see that. And of course, the big flyer for the hostess specials front and center for them to see that. Also, always FunFest is in the Easy is going to help us to get more bookings, more recruits, and it certainly is true in the summer when we've got kids home from school and things are crazy, and so we just have to make it as fun, fast, and easy as we can for them. So keep that in the mind of our consultants and yourself. And I think we've given you lots of ideas to do that today. Block their calendar, their party days on their calendar. If you're not teaching your people to do this from day one, when they start booking their parties, block out your party days. When do you want to do your parties? Thursdays and Fridays or Mondays and Tuesdays? When do you want to do your parties? And you notice I gave them 2 days a week. So just getting them started thinking that way. But if they block those days on their calendar, then they're more likely to fill them. If it's just any day, then they just take whatever they get. But if they've got 8 days blocked out, they tend to fill them. I still need one for this day. But if they've got 7 and they're not blocked out, they're like, I guess I just got 7. But if their days are blocked out, they tend to fill them. So block your days on your calendar, your party days, and teach them to block their party days. They'll hold more parties. Oops. I don't feel like that was all. I guess that is all. Okay. I was thinking that there was something else, but I guess that was it. All right, so let me just stop sharing my screen, and of course I'll just look at my chat, see if we have any questions. I don't see any questions there. Do you have any questions for me that you want to just unmute and ask, or any thoughts or comments? And I can see that just about everybody is watching this one later. But thank you for being with me today. Hey there.
Hey, thanks for those tips. Those are awesome. One thing that I'm wondering if you've tried or heard of is like a Christmas in July type event. Do you have any recommendations on like the best way to do that?
Of course, I've heard of Christmas in July, and that could be when they do their sale. That could be what it's called. It's a Christmas in July. It's like my gift.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah. You could do that tied. You could do that tied to anything. It could be one of your themes for the theme parties. It could be your hostess appreciation. I'm giving you Christmas in July because I appreciate you so much. You could tie it to anything, and it is. It's a popular thing in the retail stores, and we're seeing that coming up. Emails are coming through with that as a subject line. So yeah, it's a thing. It works.
Mm-hmm.
And don't you think you could tie that to a lot of different things?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. No, those are some good ideas.
Okay. Well, thank you for being my face with me today. It's hard to do this when there's nobody there, but I've done that before too. So anyway, for the rest of you that are watching this later, we really appreciate you participating. I know it's middle of the day and hard for a lot of you to get here. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you tomorrow. I think everybody registered for tomorrow too. So Sizzling Summer Business is tomorrow. So see you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.